This morning we are battling the bulge. While so many residents in the DMV are getting healthy and they're working out and they're sweating and they're dropping pounds more than ever, others are still struggling to prevent disease and reverse the effects of unhealthy lifestyles. Our guests this morning are here to help. Dr. Patricia Davidson is cardiologist at MedStar Washington Hospital Center. Reverend Dr. Gertie Hurley is founder and executive director of the group Taking Effective Action. And Reverend Dr. Michael Paul is senior pastor of New Beginnings Community Church in Bowie, Maryland. Welcome, all of you. Welcome back, we should say. Reverend Hurley, you declared September 26th, Celebration of Life Wellness Day 2015. How do you plan to celebrate that day?
Well, we're going to have the famous Dr. Davidson there giving good advice about how to live a healthy life. We'll also have Dr. Rodney Ellis there, who will be, this time we decided to break it up so that the men had their own private session, because sometimes men won't come to things because they don't want women to be around to hear some of the things they ask about. We open it up to the youth 12 and over, and we're going to have all kinds of activities, Wii games, food demonstrations. Dr. Renee Lavelle will be there doing IV screening and blood pressure screenings, and we'll have a cooking demonstration, and it's going to be an enjoyable day.
Sounds like a fair, and it sounds like a lot of fun.
It's
but all necessary.
It's more than a fair. It's where they're going to be empowered with some of their knowledge when they leave. We give them a pre-test before they start, and a post-test afterwards to see how they fare.
All right. Dr. Davidson, statistics show Maryland has the 29th highest adult obesity rate in the nation. Is Maryland losing the battle of the bulge?
Probably they're losing, but I think nationally we're seeing a trend in childhood obesity decreasing, partly due to our First Lady's effort to make that into a major issue. And she's been the only person who's been successful, although many organizations have tried, but she's the first person who the food industry has actually been brought down to their knees to feel guilty. And so she's the only person who's capable of doing that. But we're losing somewhat. In many different areas. We still have a close to 70% obesity rate among African American women and Mexican American women. So we still are losing. We still see a trend where food is a big issue, where poor food, bad food, and calorie-dense food that's not healthy is still being heavily marketed in our communities. And so that's probably the reason why, because Prince George's County will have less healthy food stores, and we still have an awful lot of fast food restaurants. So people have not gotten away from that need, and people still feel that this is punishment when they can't go into those fast food restaurants. And we have to get people to the point where food is considered a gift, and it can keep you alive or it can kill you, and you stay away from the ones that can kill you.
I'm sorry, punishment?
People consider this to be punishment if they have to give up
Fast food.
their fast food. Yes, they consider it punishment. And so and basically they're saying that this is more important than their life. And sometimes you have to put it in those terms, and they stop and think about it. But people do feel, and it's just like an addiction. And food is made to be addictive. There's something called the bliss point, where the food industry actually tests with subjects different recipes, and then the one where all the participants say this is the best, that's the one that they produce. So it's the bliss point, the one where you can't eat just one. And so the food industry makes sure that their food is addictive, and people need to recognize it as an addiction, just like alcohol or heroin or anything else, and they don't want to move upon that. And they have the same withdrawal symptoms. If you have to give up some of that food, especially sugar, you will have the same withdrawal symptoms as somebody who's coming off of crack. You'll be irritable, hard to get along with. You'll be shaky, you'll be demanding, you'll be searching for something to eat in the refrigerator, going out in the middle of the night to find something. So same as the crack addict would. So it may not be as extreme, but you get some of the same symptoms. So people need to acknowledge the fact that they are addicted to, and they were made to be addicted by the food industry, and that they have to then fight. And that's one of the reasons why working in churches is good, because at least we hope that those in the church will have another way to help self-discipline themselves.
Reverend Hall, your church is located in Prince George's County, where more than 60% of deaths are due to chronic disease.
Yes.
And nearly 70% of adults are obese or overweight. What is your church doing to address those numbers?
Well, we're committed to this Battle of the Bulge movement, and we're doing it as a matter of changing lifestyle, not just for a season. And what we've been doing is we've been offering the Battle of the Bulge classes. On Tuesdays, we've had Battle of the Bulge Sundays. We have a Family and Friends Sunday every third Sunday, and we've been featuring Battle of the Bulge. We've had various speakers come to share about various health concerns. We've had Dr. Davidson come, Dr. Lavelle, Dr. Ellis has been there, as Dr. Hurley has said. And we're just basically committed to educating people. In other words, giving them the training and the information that they need. And then we're interested and focused on energizing them. In other words, bringing them to a place where they're ready to take effective action. And then after that, what we want to do is encourage them. In other words, to let them know that it's sustainable. It's sustainable, and they should never give up, never give up, never give up. So we're committed to a healthy culture in our church. As a matter of fact, we have a vision for this movement called New Beginnings, where faith and fitness converge for the glory of God.
Alrighty, we are battling the bulge here on ViewPoint this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Fitness and faith.
Where faith and fitness converge for the glory of
Okay,
God.
we're talking about battling the bulge, and we are talking about Celebration of Life, which takes place in Prince George's County on September 26th. Reverend Hurley, I want to pick up on a point that Reverend Hall just made about the convergence of faith and fitness. The goal of your celebration is to help change people's unhealthy behavior, but doesn't that start with changing their attitudes and their beliefs?
Yes, and we start off by telling them what to do and how to do it and why. Then we give them a demonstration, and then we have say some empowering words to them and send them off so they feel all charged up. They can do that.
And you hope that charge lasts, Dr. Davidson.
It doesn't.
You talk about people being in denial. Talk about, that wall, and then that it's really amounted for so many people to climb.
People will not associate their lifestyle with disease process. So that's why when I do my lecture, I spend an awful lot of time trying to make people understand that 90% of the risks they have control. And they don't want to admit to that, because when you end up having certain diseases that are acquired by your lifestyle, you stay in denial. And so the way we eat causes us to have the hypertension, the obesity, the diabetes, and the clogged arteries that we have, and that's what most of us die from. And if we survive that, then the cancer, the way we eat has some role, because obesity is associated with a higher risk of cancer, even though thin people can't get cancer, but the higher the weight, because fat cells are more susceptible to become cancer cells. And so when you have people understand that from the very beginning, when they're a child, the food that we feed our children and our activity level plays a significant role, and the whole process of clogged arteries or atherosclerosis begins in the first decade of life.
And does the food addiction also start, very young? When you see mothers who have babies and they've got bottles, hanging out of their mouths, and the bottles are filled with
Juice.
yes,
And soda, yes. And you see children always have a bag of something in their hands, or some kind of, I call it junk food, but it's, there were chips or twists, orange twists. There's always something that I consider junk food, which is high salt, high refined carbohydrate, and high sugar in their hands, and they can't go shopping for a long period of time. And all of the stores have something within them where they can eat. So and it's usually not healthy food. It's like a hot dog on a white bread bun, and all those things. So it's like we cannot go longer than 30 minutes to an hour without eating. We just keep feeding our children all day long, and it's not healthy food that we're feeding them. And the food industry knows this, and they're ready to have all this very inexpensive food, so we can make an awful lot of money off of inexpensive food. So we have to get to the point where we understand that the food that we pick can either kill us or it can sustain us, and you have to either honor your temple or you can destroy it. And that's where we hope that by working with churches, they can at least take that extra step and understand the concept.
And Reverend Hall, to come
Yes.
back to fitness and faith, she talked about the relationship people have with their food.
Yes.
And talk about physical fitness. Are you seeing more churches incorporate physical fitness as part of their ministries or activities and what they are encouraging members to get together to do?
Yes, I think we see a groundswell of that going on in the Christian community in a variety of different ways. And at New Beginnings, what we're trying to do is, again, to put together a movement again that's sustainable. In other words, we don't want people just to be committed for a season, just for a period of time, or just to lose a certain number of pounds. We want healthy lifestyle changes. In other words, we're committed to giving them what they need to live longer and to live better. And so we really see this as part of the fabric of the church. Let me put it this way. We talk about in Christendom about putting God first. Well, if we're putting God first, we can't really be put, if we say we're going to put God first, we can't put him first really until we make our health a priority. We say God has plans for our lives, Jeremiah 29:11. But we can't fulfill that plan unless we have a healthy body. And the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 6:19, it says that our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and we're to glorify God with our body. All these things don't come together and make the intended impact or have the intended impact without making health a priority, healthy lifestyle habits.
First things first.
First things first.
All right.
Yes, if God is first, we need to make our health first.
All righty. Celebration of Life coming up on September 26th. We'll talk more about that celebration and the Battle of the Bulge. Stay with us. Welcome back to ViewPoint. Heart disease and cardiovascular disease are the #1 killer of people of all races in this country. And Reverend Hurley, you're going to really zero in on that issue at the Celebration of Life. Talk about your focus.
Well, Dr. Davidson is going to talk about cardiovascular disease as well as Dr. Pettis. And also the food demonstrations will be centered around hot, healthy foods. We're also giving away a cookbook in a kit with everything else about heart, healthy eating, and cooking. So it's centered around the heart. Know your numbers, control your portions, get up in the room, and those are the things we do. And take time to rest, sleep, meditate, all those things. We have a meditation CD we're giving away as well.
Dr. Davidson, many people probably don't think about their hearts when they're planning their meals. I'm a fanatic about counting fat grams and cholesterol because I know my health history. The CDC has identified 4 common causes of chronic disease, and one of them is poor nutrition. The other is lack of exercise. You say that it doesn't matter what the culture is. Heart disease is still the big mountain that we all have to
#1 killer
because of
all
our
Americans.
lifestyle in America.
Correct. All Americans, both genders. And it is definitely the lifestyle because immigrants come here with lower rates, and then when they stay here long enough, like for instance, in the Latino population, which is not homogeneous, Mexican Americans have the same risk factors that African Americans have, so their rates are higher compared to that of, say, Puerto Ricans or Cubans and things like that. So it's not a homogeneous population. So it's clearly how long you've been here and an adoption of the American lifestyle. And it's mostly the refined carbohydrates that we want the food to look better, cook faster, and all the nutrients are gone, and we're eating straight sugar. So when you eat a bowl of white rice, you're eating a bowl of sugar. When you eat your French fries, that's a bowl of sugar. When you have your white bread, that's a stick of sugar. And so these are the foods that people, when they come into this country, like they couldn't get that. They had to bake their bread. They had to do those kinds of things. And so now they're able to go get sliced white bread. And so they're taking food that is not as healthy because it looks better and it tastes better too. And then at least they think it tastes better. And then they end up having foods that drive them towards diabetes, and then they end up gaining the weight, especially weight around the belly. The belly fat is around the pancreas, which is where we get our cells to secrete the insulin. And that's where it's the most harmful. And so that you have to start measuring your waist, and then when you reach menopause, your waist size starts increasing because your fat starts to form around the belly area. and you want your waist to be 35 for European women, but 31.5 for women of color. Otherwise, you're going to end up having being predisposed to diabetes. And so all these little things begin to happen. And what you see most older women, especially after reaching menopause, you see most of them are overweight, especially women of color. Whether they were athletes to begin with or anything, they're just overweight, and that's because they didn't keep up the same exercise level, and they continued to eat the same food that they ate when they were 17. So that we have to change what we eat as we age, and recognize who we are, and change it as our exercise level. And I like to describe people as starch is for athletes. And if you're not an athlete, that's their form of sugar that they need to swim for 6 hours, run their marathons, play tennis for 6 hours, otherwise they're cramped. If you're not an athlete, you can't eat like an athlete. And we all eat like we're athletes. And as a result, we all become diabetic.
The CDC also mentions, in addition to diet and the lack of physical activity, tobacco use and alcohol consumption.
Oh, that's going
Also
down.
part of the American lifestyle?
Well, yes, and it's going down. People are very conscious of it. Unfortunately, the industry came along with the e-cigarette, which still has nicotine in it, so now we all think that we can switch that, including children, teenagers, so that there's always something that the industry comes up with when something is on the decline. So that's what they've come up with, and so nicotine still is one of the most damaging of our risk factors, because that truly damages the artery wall. And nicotine especially damages all the arteries, including to the legs. So you won't see people having a lot of clogged arteries down in the leg unless they're a smoker or diabetic. Otherwise, they're not going to have that because those arteries are so large. And so smoking is one of our deadliest of the risk factors for heart disease. People think of lung cancer, but no, it is heart disease that it affects the most. It tears up our arteries and allows the plaque to form. But that is on the decline. Unfortunately, still young teenagers are still beginning to use it too much. But again, it's a tremendous effort, and we now know the cigarette industry was lying to us. So we're kind of straight on that story. Alcohol keeps waxing and waning, and we know that that's a big problem, especially with drunk driving. So there's a lot of things that we have to work on. Alcohol is not as damaging to the heart, by the way, because that actually increases your good cholesterol level. The damage comes when you start to drive with it and you become drunk and you start carrying out illegal activities. But the damage to alcohol is not as damaging to the heart, unless there's so much of it that you actually damage your heart muscle. But if it's a small amount, it's actually good for the artery.
All right, got to take a break. We'll be right back. And some more strategies for empowerment. Give us some advice. How much time do we have? Welcome back. Reverend Hurley, you've got a lot of sponsors working with you for your Celebration of Wellness Day.
And the first people we want to thank the NBC for the outreach help. And the major funders Close the Gap. We have Wegmans, we have Maryland Physicians Care, Ernest Eats out of California, and the Health Cars in Genoa, and John Foods, Whole Foods, the Fresh Market, Ready Tank, Rite Aid, and Suburban Hospital, John Hopkins. All of them to help us, as well as we're getting a lot of volunteers to come from United Faith Ministry
And to register, we need to register. What time is the fair? And tell us exactly where it takes place.
It starts at 8 o'clock until 12:30, and then there's more students after 12:30. And you can register at New Beginning Center, 16512 Old Central Avenue, Bowie, Maryland. That's where it is. And they can register online at www.t-action.org.
And we've been showing that on our screen. Reverend Hall, the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go.
Yes.
So tell our parents how to train up their kids.
Well, the way to train up our kids is get them committed to a healthy lifestyle. Get them used to moving more and eating less, and get them committed to understanding the power and the benefit of living a healthy life, because if you live a healthy life, you live a longer life, you will live a better life.
Dr. Davidson, cardiovascular disease, it's preventable. Is it reversible?
Yes, it is. But you have to eliminate your risk factors. We don't have actual numbers for reversing, but we have a trend towards reversal you can get your bad cholesterol under 70 in the studies that we've done. Under that's 70. That's the bad cholesterol. And everybody looks at the total. It's the bad cholesterol, bad because it's bad for you. Under 70, and there's a trend towards reversing. You have to get your sugar down, your blood pressure to go 120 over 80, and get your sugar down under 100, get your body mass index down under 25, and you will have a chance to reverse your disease.
All right, Dr. Patricia Davidson, Dr. Gertie Hurley, and Dr. Michael Hall, thank you all so much. And thank you for being with us. That's ViewPoint. I'm Pat Lawson. You stay with us now for News 4 Today.